Hi, I'm Saida Garrett, co-writer of Michael Jackson's Man in the Mirror, and you're listening to Rainbow Country with Mr. Mark Tara.
10 years of finales, of champions, 10 years of legends.
Welcome to the season 1 finale of Big Brother Canada.
I was HOH 3 times, and I put every single person in jury on the block. Nobody should hold that against me.
Jillian.
I left my heart at the door, made some really hard decisions. I choose to evict Meta.
This is how legends are made.
I use my strengths and my weaknesses to my benefit.
We won 3 HOHs and 4 power vetoes. It speaks for itself.
Nick and
Let's go, baby. I want to win this game more than anything I have wanted.
This is how legends are made.
I'm not afraid of any of these people.
I won the 2 most important HOHs of the season, and I brought myself here to the finals.
I threw comps when I needed to. I won comps when I needed to. And I never felt threatened because of my social gig.
We are forced to end the production of this season of Big Brother Canada.
This was a dream.
This is gonna be really rough to get over.
Big moves? I made them.
This is how legends are made.
When it was time to cut my line, I cut them.
A winner.
Who will be the next legend?
This is how legends are made.
On day 1,
Oh my God!
16 lucky Canadians gathered to play the greatest game on Earth.
I'm getting like big game show vibes. I'm ready.
I'm tired.
Nice to meet you, Josh.
They were all eager smiles and rattled nerves.
Hi, my name's Helena.
But with $100K up for grabs, it didn't take long for the lies to begin.
What are you studying?
I'm learning biology.
What's different than a barracuda and an eel?
That's a good question.
Leading the deceit was an unsuspecting charmer,
Josh is just a sweet soul, just so kind.
calling Dr. Josh Nash.
What are you studying?
Biology.
Is that a lie?
No, it's not a lie.
Luckily, Josh found a rock to keep him grounded.
I am fighting to the end.
The straight talking,
You're fake. You hate me.
I do hate you.
big-hearted Betty.
I'm just gonna play my heart out.
Let's stick together.
Betty is my ride or die. Hope that we can make final 2 together.
And while the besties bonded, little did they know,
Vitamin D!
there was a sus superfan hiding in plain sight.
Yeah!
The king cobra of con men, Kevin.
I can be the big villain. But right now, I need to be just generally likable and nice. I'm just like pure vanilla ice cream.
Meanwhile, the rest of the gamers were in Alliance Overdrive,
Honey Bunch.
The retreat.
making more packs than Big Brother could track.
We're the 4 horsemen.
The comedians, the village voice. Because we're all from village?
There's so many in Alliance stuff.
But there was one alliance that had real spirit.
The ghost.
The ghost.
The strongest bond in the house
Is this our thing?
Disappear?
was invisible.
We should ghost out of here.
We should definitely ghost out of here.
And the ghost easily slipped off the radar. While the rest of the house hit serious turbulence.
Why would you come to him and say I would take the first shot?
I never said you would take the first shot. Liar!
Shut the hell up and do not talk to me.
In a season of blowouts,
You're putting me at risk, my guy. I asked you.
You're a
liar, now everyone knows it.
Betrayals.
Stephanie, you've been evicted.
Do you know what's going on right now?
I don't know what's happening.
That's exactly what we said.
And 100%
I'm not lying to you.
Get out of the room.
Have a good life. Bye-bye.
grade A beef.
Marty, you're dumb.
There are too many fights to keep track of.
You slapped me in the face as a man. You disrespected me.
That's rude. I'm so angry.
I don't even know where to go because I want to see every show.
Just need everyone to just relax.
And while Block stars Betty and Josh conked out in competition, Kevin stayed out of sight, but in everyone's ear.
Gino and Kyle see you as a stupid old man. I think if you backdoor Herman, it might win you $100,000. You gotta be paranoid. Like, people are coming for your revenge is a good thing. What do you need from me? How can I help you this week? How can I help? How can I help? So.
And week after week, big threats were sent packing.
Thank you so much!
And behind the scenes of all the chaos, a dope new relationship sparked in the house.
How do you feel, Kevin?
As Josh moves Spooky to form the Crash Test Dummies.
Josh, come over to the dark side, my friend. I will ride this all the way. I will do. I'm still alive.
The Dummies' first casualty, a deadly flip on one of Josh's closest friends.
Tanisha, you have been evicted.
But part of why it cut so deep
Love you, Broski.
Get in here.
was because of how close the house guests had grown.
This is our family for the next little while. Forever, probably.
So happy to meet you.
Happy I met you too.
In the unlikeliest place,
You're absolutely fighting for your life. No.
Just love.
despite the toughest circumstances,
Your parents and your sister want you to know how much they love you.
the tightest of friendships were formed.
I really do love you guys, okay?
Don't think it to be in spaces like this. People that think are like you.
You want to take it to the outside.
I'm so grateful for this beautiful day and this experience with every single one of you guys. Thank you so much.
Season 10, friends.
And those bonds were tested again and again.
Ooh.
Then Betty hit rock bottom.
Keep fighting.
Oh, good try, Betty.
Daddy's gonna put us up. I'm sorry, Josh.
But there's only so much
Betty.
one woman can take.
Josh.
I don't know if I have any more fight in me. I just feel like throwing in the towel.
And just when her game looked like it was dead and buried,
Betty.
Betty rose from the grave.
Woo! I'm not going anywhere, Marty. Oh, yes.
And it forced her rivals into a very sticky situation.
Whoever gets their red gonna be buried on the block.
Marty, if you're offering Gino up to me on a silver platter, I have no problem with taking that shot.
Gino, you've been evicted from the Big Brother Canada house.
There is a three-headed dragon in this house.
But then, Big Brother dropped the dreaded triple.
Congratulations, Josh.
Josh finally ended his losing streak, and Kevin's work paid off when Josh protected the dummies and burned bridges with old allies.
It makes absolutely no sense. You lied to me.
And his ride or die.
What are you gonna put up? You're gonna think about Kevin?
I can't put Kevin.
Then you're gonna put up Paulina or me?
Yeah.
Are you gonna put me up?
Yes.
Why? I thought we were riding this out till the wheels fall off.
My replacement nominee will be Betty.
I'm pissed at Josh. My number one guy just blindsided me.
Reeling from the betrayal, Betty rose again.
Congratulations, Betty.
Yes! I just won HOH!
And her motive was clear. Payback. With a side of petty.
I've been blindly loyal to you and is expendable to you.
My first nominee is Josh.
But
you are my friend.
You are my best friend.
The duo had been through too much together to throw it all away.
You could stand next to me when I get married. Like, that's how I see it.
Meanwhile, Betty couldn't shake the feeling that something more sinister was lurking.
Kevin is a much bigger problem than I thought.
He's protecting Helena. I know they have a final two. And he's like, I'm ready to cut my ties with Josh.
Oh, this man wants to send me home.
But the realization came too late. Josh's only option lied to stay alive.
What do you think about throwing the HOH to me or Helena?
Yeah, there's a first for everything.
And Kevin took the bait. Hook, line, and sinker.
Not only am I going to win the next HOH, but when I do, I'm throwing their on the block.
60 days. 16 house guests. Only 4 remain in a face-off between the fiercest friendships in the house.
We're gonna win.
The Ghosts versus the Besties. Not willing to settle for second place anymore, Josh confirmed his spot in the finale.
Josh, you are the new head of household!
And Kevin's perfect game came crashing down.
I feel super played. I got overconfident. I believed Josh, and now I got to deal with the results.
Then the dog went back-to-back in the final veto of the season.
Josh!
But once again, Josh was stuck between allies and friends.
I'm losing my mind.
And Kevin went all out to lure the good doctor to the dark side.
If you were me, what would you do?
I'd evict Betty. She was the biggest underdog. She's been on the block 5 times. 5 times. That's the story people want. Me and Helena have never had a final 2. We've always been to the 3.
But ultimately, Josh chose friendship.
Are you going to use the POV?
I will use the power of veto on Betty.
Meaning Betty would survive the block for the 5th time.
Some would call me a block star. You know, I'm used to it. I'm sorry, but I have to vote to evict you, Helena.
Kevin had earned his spot in the finale. But the Ghosts were no more.
But it's okay. It's okay. I'm so thankful to have played this game with you. Bye, BB Can.
And then there were 3. Tonight, everything has led to this moment.
Let's go!
Win or game over. It's Betty, the Blockstar survivor, versus Josh, the sensitive assassin, versus Kevin, the strategic mastermind. After a decade of legends, we find our next champion. On Big Brother Canada Season 10, the finale.
Josh guaranteed himself a spot in the final 2 after taking the last HOH comp of the season. With that win comes the biggest decision a house guest can make: who to evict and who to face in the final vote. Let's find out how it all plays out right now. Josh, the time has come. We need to know if you're going to evict Kevin or Betty. Whoever you decide to keep in the house is the person you'll be up against in the final vote. Josh, what is your decision?
This is the hardest decision I've ever had to make in this game. You're someone who's been by my side the whole time. We've battled it out. They've honestly played the best game here, I think. And I think they give me the most fighting chance against the jury. So I'm going to have to vote to evict my best friend, Betty.
Are you serious?
Thank you, Josh.
Oh.
Betty, you have been evicted from the Big Brother Canada house. Please say your goodbyes.
Josh, Betty.
Hi.
Hi. First and foremost, a big congrats on making it onto season 10 Big Brother Canada. Top 3 to the two of you, Josh, runner up. Betty, let's start with yourself. Have you wrapped your mind around what has happened?
Slowly but surely. I think, it's going to come in waves for the next little bit, but, I just got to keep remembering that it's just a game. And yeah, that's all I can do.
And Josh, for yourself, runner up, have you been able to wrap your mind around what's happened?
I have actually, I think Kevin, he deserved to win as well. He played a fantastic game. He was the strategy behind a lot of the big decisions that were made. So losing to Kevin, it's all right. I definitely wish I won, but it's okay.
Betty, let's just jump right in. Josh cuts you at final 3. What goes through your mind in that moment?
Yeah, I honestly couldn't believe what I was hearing. I never thought that Josh would cut me, especially in the final 3. We had made a plan to just stick it out, to be at the final 2. For so many reasons, I felt like that we're above the game. But Josh had to do what was best for his game at the end of the day. So it is what it is.
And at the end of the day, it is a game.
Yeah, totally.
Betty, when you walked out on stage, you seemed fired up. You seemed maybe mad?
You know what? Moose just gets under my skin. So the reaction that he had, it was almost like he knew it was me coming out. I just could not stand for it. It probably wasn't one of my proudest moments. But, a girl's just got to tell it like it is.
I hear you. Josh, you cut Betty at the final 3. Why did you make that decision?
Mark, it's a $100,000 question, and I did it for a few reasons. I had Kevin in my ear for a few days telling me that Betty was going to win this game, that Betty had a better shot than I did, and so I should be cutting Betty. Kevin didn't really have that many competition wins, and Kevin also didn't have a lot of people, I thought, advocating for him in jury. I also didn't know the jury was that bitter towards me, so ultimately I think that's why I ended up doing that.
So Josh, do you think you cutting Betty, do you think that was your decision, or do you think that was Kevin's decision?
No, I definitely at the end of the day think it was my decision because I thought it was better for my game. And Kevin, regardless, Kevin honestly thought I was also going to win the game. He was shocked to win because he really thought that people would have voted for me because I had so many close personal relationships in the game, especially with everyone that was in jury as well. But I also think that was my downfall.
Betty, you ended up voting for Josh. Talk to me about that.
I was the only one to vote for Josh. Him and I had some conversations about, if I was to get evicted, I would always vote for Josh. And I wanted to make sure that I was being true to my word right until the very last minute. And, that's what I did.
So, Betty, you found yourself on the block week after week after week. I believe nominated 5 times, yet here you are, top 3. After being nominated 5 times, what do you attribute the success of your game to?
You know what? I was the block queen of the season. I really, wasn't able to gain power until a little bit later in the season. So I think my unique social game was really what helped me. I was able to really be authentic. I was able to be honest with people. I wasn't really just spewing anything to get myself off the block. I wanted to make sure I was showing value to these folks because ultimately the power was within the people. So I feel like I really did a really great job at just advocating for myself, and that allowed me to stay week after week.
And Josh, yourself, you were on the block a number of weeks, I believe 4 times nominated, yet here you are, runner-up.
It's wild.
It is wild. What do you attribute your success in this game to?
Mark, for me, it all came down to the close personal relationships that I had with people in the house. They really, truly wanted to see me there. Even in week 3 with the house flip with staff, and then week 8, there was the house flip with Gino. A lot of people made emotional decisions to keep me in this game that were above even their own games. And I really do appreciate that. So I have to give credit to all those people.
Betty, HOH competition win. a veto win. Marty, I'm not going anywhere. I think you said during your veto win. And Josh, for yourself, you won a number of competitions near the end of the game. And for the two of you, how challenging were those competitions? Betty, how challenging were those competitions, especially those final three?
Honestly, they were quite challenging. The one with the coins, I really thought I had it. But, you know, when you're going back and forth with 26 coins, your arm gets a little shaky. It gets a little intense. So they do get intense. They do get hard, especially when there's so much riding on them. But it is what it is at the end of the day. Nonetheless, it's still a lot of fun. I think that was one of the highlights of the season, was being able to compete in almost everything.
And Josh, for yourself, how challenging were those competitions for you?
Oh, some of those competitions, they were hard as hell, Mark. They bring your self-esteem down. It's like, how can I not stack coins and walk up and down around? Like, why is this so hard right now? Why is my hand shaking? And all of these thoughts that go through your mind. And there is a really big mental component to it of just pushing through it. But in that moment, when you're tired and thirsty, that's really all you can think about sometimes.
So Josh, you just said the operative word, thirsty. Was there a bit of flirting between yourself and Kevin?
Me and Kevin definitely had a flirt match going throughout the show. I think that was genuine.
Betty, for yourself, what was the best part about playing Big Brother Canada Season 10?
Oh my God, there's so many great moments that I had this season. I think honestly, winning the Power of Veto was amazing. I think all of the amazing connections that I was able to just get in the house was also really great. You know, being in a house for 69 days with strangers who ultimately end up being a really big chaotic family at the end of the day is something that I'm never going to forget for the rest of my life.
Josh, best part about playing Big Brother Canada Season 10?
I mean, I've dreamed of playing this game for so long, and to finally do it, it just feels like that dream has come true. I always wondered what my strategy would be going in, and I really do like the game that I played. There was a few decisions that are questionable, but at the end of the day, this experience has been so phenomenal. I love all of the people that I've been able to meet through it, and just to even live in the Big Brother house and walk through those doors was like surreal.
Betty, Josh, thank you for your time. Well said, well done, and to the two of you, well played.
Thank you.
I woke up on day 7, I sat on those couches and I looked out at this house and I was thankful. Because I know walking in with these glasses, you're a super fan, you're a villain, you're a schemer, and it all would have been true. I had to lie through my teeth from day 1, downplay my threat level, show up week 4 to Gito's HOH with the suit on, to be funny, to make myself seem like I'm not a big deal. When the sides of the house happened, I earned my safety. I was good no matter what. So here it is. Herman, you were the biggest threat to my game. Moose, we're hitting all the concerts. Do it for Toronto, baby. Summer, you want an underdog to win? That's me. Gito, Jace, Marty, for the 5. If you want the 5 in the winner, that is me. Alina, I would give away my game for you. Betty, I've had a final 2 with Josh since day 30. Summer, it was planned for you to go on the block of the triple. I'm the strategist. I'm not the athlete. If you want the comp, that's him. I'm behind the strategy. Alina, my final 2 was with you. I would have cut Josh. Don't worry about it. I saw that face. Love you all, no matter which way you go. This has been amazing.
Josh and Kevin, it's time to announce our winner. One at a time, I'll let you know who the voter was and who they voted for. If you hear your name, that's a good thing. You need 5 votes to win. Good luck to you both. Canada has voted for Kevin.
Yes. Wow.
Herman has voted for Kevin.
Yes.
Moose has voted for Kevin.
Yes.
Gino has voted for Kevin.
Yeah.
One more vote, and that's a wrap. Summer has voted for Kevin.
Yes,
Congratulations, Kevin. You have won Season 10 of Big Brother Canada. You can both now make make your way out of the house.
Good job.
Hello, Kevin.
Hi, Mark.
Kevin, hello. First and foremost, a big congrats on being on season 10, Big Brother Canada. Not only that, you are the winner of season 10. Have you been able to wrap your mind around what's happened that you did it?
Yeah, today feels a lot more real. I'm so happy. Yesterday when Yirsaw announced the results, though, I went into total processing mode. I was shocked and confused and didn't know how to react, but today I'm a happy guy.
Let's talk about that final speech of yours. For me, sitting here at home watching it, it did not feel like a speech. It felt like you were preaching to the jury. You had the jury applauding. You had some of them up on their feet. How long did it take you to put that speech together? How long did you work on that?
It was more so just thinking about what would be the appropriate messaging for every person, rather than figuring out the exact words. Like I missed a couple of points that I wanted to hit on, but it ended up being okay. I think the thing for me was that it's very easy when making a speech in the house to speak to the viewing audience because there are 1 million+ people watching. But it was way easier for me to just speak to the house guests from the heart. And so I think that's why it seemed like it worked.
Josh wins the final HOH. What goes through your mind?
I am the losing finalist. I knew he was going to take me. I suspected that the jury would favor him in an overwhelming vote. I thought I had a chance at 2 or 3, and I was pleasantly surprised. But I knew he was taking me for sure.
You knew that he would take you.
Yeah, Josh had always, I've been pushing to him that I'm the losing finalist for like 30+ days. We've been over it. We've counted jury votes together because we always talk game at a high level. We loved running the scenarios together. That was part of why we worked well together. And I thought I would lose to him. I thought it was the right move for him to take me. I thought I had to win the final HOH and I had to cut Josh and take Betty. I was pleasantly surprised. I mean, one of the great surprises of my life that I was wrong.
How would you describe your gameplay?
Treating people the way that they want to be treated. I think a lot of people believe that others think the way that they think, and that is incorrect. If you're in a house with 15 other people with the biggest personalities across Canada, with all different backgrounds, there is no way that everyone is going to think the same way and make decisions the same way. And what you need to do is figure out how they're going to make those decisions and adapt accordingly. So that was my game.
So, Kevin, did you have a strategy going into the game?
Yeah, I wanted to find a ride or die, someone who I could share every single piece of information with. That was not only a game move, but also because I knew how mentally taxing it could be in the house. So I needed that outlet. Fortunately, I found it in Helena. From there, I wanted to diminish my threat level early on in the game, start to show my personality in the mid game, and then turn it on at the end. I did most of that. Would have loved to win the first HOH, but 1 in 16 chance didn't go so well, and I'm happy it didn't.
Were you nervous about revealing the fact that you were not married to your fellow house guests?
I said before coming into the house that I wouldn't share it with anyone, but it got to the point where Helena and I were so close that I almost told her and I couldn't. So yeah, I was nervous about the perception because it could be a fun lie or it could be a dark lie. And when you're the villain, it is a tough line to straddle, whether you're being fun or dark. And I was trying to go more on the fun side, which I think I did for the most part, but I was very worried that the marriage lie would take me to that darker side. But they seemed to think it was funny.
Okay, this next question I need to know the answer to, and it's simply this. Kevin, were you ever part of an improv troupe? Have you done comedy in your past?
Cool. Okay, Mark. So I've done stand-up 2 or 3 times, went okay, but I find it to be a very lonely activity. You're alone. You win alone or you lose alone. I've done a lot of improv training here in Toronto. I've never been in a troupe, but I have done, like the recitals or the shows or gone up to perform, because I think improv is so much fun. It's like you win together or you lose together, and you could be the total straight man and somebody else is hilarious on stage. You're still doing the same thing. What made you ask?
Because you were fantastic.
Thank you.
Are you a fan of spaghetti?
So I'm interested to see how that played out on the show. I think it was funny on the show, but it was super weird in the house. Like
It played out better on feeds.
Oh, that was on the feeds?
Yes.
Oh no. Okay, so how weird that got. It was just Jess laughing
We did not see the backyard part when you were in the tub. We saw you preparing.
Okay.
Yes.
The preparing was fun. The in the tub part was fun for like 30 seconds, and then it got really weird. It was way too late at night. Everybody was tired from the phone ringing all day. Jess loved it. Jess loved the performance art, and I appreciate that. Everyone else was like, this is too weird. Like they were feeling bad for me. Tanisha and Moose after were throwing a towel over me. Like we had cold showers, freezing cold. So I took half an hour in the shower with a brain freeze, stepping in and out. It got real weird there with the.
You talked about the Big Brother community. You talked about podcasting. You talked about Rob has a podcast on the feeds in the house. Was that part of your strategy?
No, I didn't want to reveal any of that, but I eventually just got to the point where it felt like by the middle point of the game, I was comfortable enough that I was fine saying I was a big enough fan. Early on, I only really talked to Jess about it because I knew that they had a similar interests, but it wasn't a strategic thing. It was just a love of the game and a love of the community.
How challenging was playing Big Brother?
I knew it would be one of the hardest things in my life, and I had no idea how hard it would be. I am so thankful for the challenge that it was, from a physical perspective, from just your mind, from the paranoia, from questioning every single thing anybody is saying, to talking in mirrors, to standing behind doors, to trying to see if someone is standing behind doors. It was one of the hardest things I've done in my life, and it was one of the most rewarding too.
Are you a fan of Marsha the Moose?
I am a huge fan of Marsha. I was so happy to see Marsha back, and I also helped Marsha sign some postcards and send them out. So I was honored to be the one chosen to do that. I think it makes sense, me, Peter, Joel, we're kind of in the same sort of. We all have glasses.
My last question for you: best part about being part of Big Brother Canada season 10, and you are the winner.
The best part is the things I'm going to take back to my life. So letting the little kid loose, just actually finding joy in the small things. When you're in the house, you have to find ways to entertain yourself. And I don't know that in my real life, I found the same joy in little tasks. The confidence that I had to develop, the resilience, that HOH part 1, that thing tests you like you haven't been tested before. And going into that, I would say Josh or Betty is winning this. It's a balance comp. I have terrible balance, but you know what? That game teaches you something. It forces you to become a better version of yourself if you're lucky enough to have the journey that I had. So I'm so thankful.
Now you can let that little winter baby out.
Yeah.
Kevin, congrats. Thank you for your time. Well said, well done, well played. One of the best winners of Big Brother ever.
Mark, thank you so much. Thanks for the amazing questions.